significant development further extended the range at which humans could engage in combat, allowing for more strategic and less personal forms of warfare. As human societies became more organized and settled into agricultural communities, the nature of warfare began to change. The rise of early civilizations, such as those in Mesopotamia, Egypt, and the Indus Valley, saw the development of more sophisticated weapons and the beginnings of organized armies. Bronze, an alloy of copper and tin, revolutionized combat technology. The Bronze Age saw the emergence of weapons like swords, daggers, and shields, which were stronger and more durable than their stone predecessors. These new weapons allowed for more effective close combat and became symbols of power and status among warriors. In Mesopotamia, the Sumerians developed the earliest known armies, equipped with bronze weapons and organized into units. The phalanx formation, where soldiers stood shoulder to shoulder with overlapping shields and spears pointed outward, was one of the first examples of tactical innovation in warfare. This formation allowed armies to present a united front, making it difficult for opponents to break through their ranks. The chariot, another significant innovation, was introduced in Mesopotamia and quickly spread to other civilizations. Chariots allowed for greater mobility on the battlefield, providing a platform for archers and spear throwers to attack from a distance while remaining out of reach of enemy infantry. Meanwhile, in Egypt, warfare was deeply intertwined with the state and religion. The Egyptians developed a range of weapons, including the kobesh, a sickle-shaped sword, and perfected the use of chariots in battle. The Egyptians also placed a strong emphasis on logistics, understanding that the ability to supply and sustain an army was as important as its ability to fight. The construction of fortified cities and the use of siege warfare were also important aspects of Egyptian military strategy. As we move into the Iron Age, we see another leap forward in the evolution of combat technology. The use of iron for weapons and armor provided significant advantages over bronze. Iron weapons were not only stronger and sharper, but also more readily available, as iron ore was more abundant than the tin and copper that was needed for bronze. This availability allowed for the mass production of weapons, enabling larger armies to be equipped and leading to the rise of powerful military states. The Assyrian Empire, known for its military prowess, was one of the first to fully embrace iron technology. The city-state of Sparta placed a strong emphasis on the training and discipline of their soldiers. The Greek hoplite, a heavily armored infantry soldier, was equipped with a spear, a short sword, and a large round shield known as a hoplon. The hoplite phalanx, a formation of tightly packed soldiers with overlapping shields and spears pointed forward, was the cornerstone of Greek military strategy. This formation was highly effective in close combat, allowing the Greeks to achieve significant victories on the battlefield. The Greeks also recognized the importance of naval warfare, developing advanced warships such as the trireme. The trireme was a fast, maneuverable vessel powered by 3 rows of oarsmen and equipped with a bronze ram at the prow designed to smash into and disable enemy ships. The Greek mastery of naval combat was a key factor in their success during conflicts like the Persian Wars, where the Greek fleet played a decisive role in defeating the much larger Persian navy at the Battle of Salamis. The Roman Empire, which succeeded the Greek city-states as the dominant power in the Mediterranean, further advanced combat technology and military tactics. The Roman legions were highly disciplined and well-trained, with soldiers equipped with a range of weapons, including the gladius, a short sword, the pilum, a throwing spear, and the scutum, a large rectangular shield. The Romans also developed sophisticated armor such as the lorica segmentata, a type of plate armor that provided excellent protection while allowing for greater mobility. The Roman military was known for its flexibility and adaptability, able to employ a variety of tactics depending on the situation. The legionary formation, with soldiers arranged in small units, allowed for greater maneuverability than the rigid phalanx. The Romans also excelled in siege warfare, developing an advanced siege engine such as the ballista, a type of large crossbow, and the onager, a catapult which could hurl stones and other projectiles at enemy fortifications. The Roman military's engineering prowess extended beyond the battlefield with the construction of roads, fortifications, and aqueducts that supported their military campaigns and helped to maintain control over their vast empire. As we move into the Middle Ages, the evolution of combat technology was shaped by the feudal system and the rise of heavily armored knights. The development of the stirrup in the early medieval period revolutionized cavalry warfare, allowing knights to wield lances with greater force and stability. The medieval knight, clad in chainmail and later in plate armor, became the dominant figure on the battlefield. The knight's primary weapon was the lance, used in conjunction with a shield and a sword, and his armor was designed to provide maximum protection while allowing for mobility in combat. However, the dominance of knights was challenged by the rise of infantry forces and the development of new weapons that could penetrate armor. The longbow, famously used by the first developed in China and later introduced to Europe, led to the development of firearms and artillery, which would forever change the nature of warfare. The earliest firearms, such as the hand cannon, were rudimentary and unreliable, but they represented the beginning of a new era in combat. The use of gunpowder also led to the development of cannons, which became a key component of siege warfare, capable of breaching the walls of even the most formidable fortifications. The Renaissance period saw significant advancements in military technology and tactics, driven by the widespread use of gunpowder weapons. The development of the musket, a more advanced and reliable firearm, allowed for the creation of infantry units armed with firearms rather than traditional weapons like swords and spears. The use of firearms led to the decline of heavily armored knights, as even the thickest armor couldn't withstand a musket ball at close range. The introduction of the bayonet, a blade attached to the end of a musket, allowed infantry soldiers to engage in close combat without having to switch to a different weapon. This innovation led to the development of new tactics such as the linear formation, where soldiers stood in long lines and fired volleys of musket fire at the enemy before charging with bayonets. The effectiveness of these tactics was demonstrated during the Napoleonic Wars, where massed infantry armed with muskets and bayonets played a decisive role in the battles. Artillery also became increasingly important during this period with the development of more powerful and accurate cannons. The use of artillery on the battlefield, as well as in sieges, allowed armies to deliver devastating blows to their enemies from a distance. The use of grape shot, a type of ammunition that spread out upon firing, turning a cannon into essentially a massive shotgun, was particularly effective against massed infantry formations. The Industrial Revolution brought about even more dramatic changes in combat technology. The mass production of weapons and the development of new manufacturing processes allowed for the creation of larger, more powerful armies. The rifled musket, which had grooves in the barrel to spin the bullet and increase accuracy, replaced the smooth-bore musket as the standard infantry weapon. The invention of the machine gun, capable of firing hundreds of rounds per minute, revolutionized infantry combat and made traditional tactics like massed infantry charge obsolete. The American Civil War was one of the first conflicts to fully incorporate these new technologies, resulting in unprecedented levels of carnage. The use of rifled muskets, artillery, and early machine guns, combined with outdated tactics, led to devastating losses on both sides. The war also saw the use of ironclad warships, which were resistant to the traditional cannon fire that had dominated naval warfare for centuries. The clash between the USS Monitor and the CSS Virginia marked the beginning of a new era in naval combat. The late 19th and early 20th centuries saw the development of even more advanced weapons and tactics, leading to the horrors of World War I. The introduction of trench warfare, where soldiers dug into defensive positions to protect themselves from the relentless artillery drones capable of stealthily attacking enemy ships revolutionized naval warfare. World War II saw the further evolution of these technologies with the development of more advanced tanks, aircraft, and naval vessels. The use of combined arms tactics where infantry, tanks, and aircraft worked together to achieve a common objective became the standard approach to warfare. The war also saw the introduction of new weapons such as the rocket-propelled grenade, the flamethrower, and the proximity fuse, which made artillery shells detonate when they were near their target rather than on impact. The most significant technological development of World War II, however, was the atomic bomb. The detonation of atomic bombs over Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1945 marked the dawn of the nuclear age and forever changed the nature of warfare. The sheer destructive power of nuclear weapons introduced the concept of mutually assured destruction, where the use of such weapons by any two adversaries would result in the annihilation of both. This led to the Cold War, a period of intense rivalry between the United States and the Soviet Union, where the threat of nuclear war loomed large but thankfully was never realized. In the post-war period, the focus of combat technology shifted from conventional warfare to the development of more precise and less destructive weapons. The development of guided missiles capable of striking targets with pinpoint accuracy allowed for more targeted and strategic use of force. The advent of stealth technology, which made aircraft and ships nearly invisible to radar, gave military forces the ability to strike without warning. The rise of cyber warfare in the late 20th and early 21st centuries introduced a new dimension to combat. Rather than relying solely on physical weapons, nations began to develop the capability to launch attacks on the digital infrastructure of their adversaries. Cyber attacks could disrupt communications, disable critical systems, and even cause physical damage by targeting industrial control systems. The evolution of drones, unmanned aerial vehicles that could be used for reconnaissance or to launch precision strikes, also changed the nature of warfare, allowing for remote operations with minimal risk to human life. In modern warfare, the emphasis has increasingly shifted toward asymmetric conflicts, where traditional state-on-state warfare is less common. Instead, military forces often engage in counterinsurgency operations where the enemy is not a conventional army, but a network of guerrilla fighters, terrorists, or other non-state actors. The development of special forces equipped with advanced technology and trained in unconventional tactics has become a key component of modern military strategy. The evolution of combat technology is a story of constant innovation, driven by the need to gain an advantage over one's adversaries. But it's also a story of adaptation, where new technologies and tactics emerge in response to the challenges and threats of the time. As we look to the future, the nature of warfare will continue to evolve, shaped by advances in technology, changes in geopolitics, and the ongoing quest for security and dominance. While the weapons and tactics of warfare have changed dramatically over the millennia, the fundamental nature of conflict, its causes, consequences, and human toll remains a constant capacity for destruction